Happy Monday. Welcome into another edition of 3 Point Stance presented by Mountain Dew. I am Meghan Triplett. That is John Roser. And we had another jam-packed weekend of so much sports, news, games, everything combined. Let's start with the NCAA tournament. Roser, from the weekend that was, with all the games happening. Games are still happening tonight and tomorrow. So tell me what excited you the most, what surprised you the most, what you got?
I mean, I guess like the only two good games we got were Alabama, UCLA, and Arkansas, Oral Roberts. The rest of them were pretty much duds. Um, I don't know why Oregon State. I don't know how they keep playing like the '96 Bulls, but they do somehow. Now, I will say for that game, Loyola Chicago got. I mean, they were wide open they got everything they wanted on offense, every shot they wanted, and they just could not make anything. Gonzaga looks dominant, but they better watch out for USC. That USC team is big, and they are really athletic, led by Evan Mobley, the stud freshman who's likely going to be the number one, number two, number three pick in the NBA draft. I think Baylor will take care of Arkansas today. Michigan and UCLA, I think Michigan will take care of them. Oregon State, Houston, I do think Houston's going to end up going to the Final Four. Gonzaga, USC, or what is it? Is it Gonzaga? Isn't that how Jessica wants me to say it? Gonzaga? Gonzaga and USC, I think, is the most interesting game to me. I think a lot of people are interested in Baylor, Arkansas, but I think Baylor's defense is going to be a little bit too much, and Arkansas sometimes just takes a lot of bad shots. I do want to say, aside since we're talking college basketball, shout out to the Memphis Tigers. I've been very critical of Penny Hardaway. Yeah. One thing the team has always done all season is they always have defended, but the offense has just been atrocious. He found something late in the season, and they clicked. And it's a shame they didn't have the resume to get into the NCAA tournament. But if they can keep everybody together, and that's a big if because, players are free to transfer wherever they want without sitting out after this year. Look, they're going to have an NCAA tournament team next season. So he found something. So props to Penny Hardaway and props to that team for not quitting. I know it's disappointing when you don't get to the NCAA tournament, but those kids didn't quit, and they kept playing, and they wanted to keep playing, and they found something late in the season. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, that was a great way to end the season. You might not have gotten the main result that you wanted, but to end it that way in the NIT tournament, and also to have that time to play together, and as you mentioned, kind of figure everything out a little bit more offensively, to have more time. It was great to see them win the NIT and cut down the nets. And as Penny Hardaway said, it's just a start. I mean, you talked about the men's side of the NCAA tournament. I think there was obviously, everyone can agree with me for the Alabama UCLA game. I think when you had Alabama playing like they were playing, not making free throws, and then to be able to hit that wild 3-point shot with like seconds winding down, did not think that they were going to go to overtime. And then UCLA coming through an OT and dominating that. UCLA has been that team where no one really counted that they would go in, would go this far. No one really picked them to win Michigan, to beat Michigan State in that play-in tournament. Going into it,
they shouldn't have beat them. They shouldn't have beaten them.
But they have been that, I said it, and it's not a knock to them, they really have been that Cinderella team that's left right now where you've been surprised for. And since we talked a lot about the men's side, the women's side had some amazing games this weekend. We talked about Caitlin Clark and Paige Becker's UConn and that Iowa game. That lived up to the hype. UConn is just looking really, really good. They don't just have Paige Becker's, but that whole team from the bench. Gino has a really stud team, and now we're going to see Gino's team, UConn, take on Kim Mulkey and Baylor. That is going to be an intense, impactful game. They're two teams that play great defense, and they have so much history. They're 4-4 head-to-head series, and Baylor has won the last two against them, and they're the defending champs. And Maryland goes down a 2 seed. Texas, Vic Schaefer, for what he's been able to do from just like a little bit, not even a year just left after leaving Mississippi State. And we had a 1 seed go down. NC State lost over the weekend too. In the women's side of things, the games continue. It's been so entertaining, and I've just loved it all fronts. You're constantly flipping your TV.
I am totally stunned that Gino Auriemma has an awesome team at UConn. It's like the first time ever. He's never had good players at UConn. They're like the Alabama football of women's basketball. Except actually, Alabama football is like the UConn women's because like Gino's been doing it longer than Alabama football has with Nick Saban. So no, they're just powerhouse. They are an absolute powerhouse program.
But I think this is a year, and I think these last like 3 or 4 years on the women's side of things, you're talking about more teams. Yes, UConn.
Oh, no, the competitive balance is totally. When I grew up, it was UConn and Tennessee. That's what it was. Well, and then the early night, like Cheryl Swoops at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, when I was really growing up, it was Pat Summitt, Gina Oriam, and that was basically it. The competitive side of women's basketball, especially on the college level and even the WNBA, has gotten so much better over the last 15 years. It's been incredible.
Yeah. All right. So something else that's been incredible, the Brooklyn Nets. They've been incredible at getting guys to come there. And over the weekend, we found out that LeMarcus Aldridge is reportedly is going to sign with the Brooklyn Nets, according to his agent and ESPN. You think about the stars on this group, which I didn't know they had enough roster spots to add another dynamic player to the group. But what was your take and when you saw that come across your phone?
A little unfair. It's a little unfair. I mean, they already have James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant, which is like and then they have Joe Harris sitting there in the corner, like just take open threes. He's shooting the best 3-point percentage of his career, and he was already
DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan and Bruce Brown, who they got for nothing from the Pistons, has been a total revelation for them. The rookie from Georgia that they've got, who all he has to do is just set picks and rim run, has been great for them too. It's insanely unfair. Kevin Durant's going to miss at least another week, we found out yesterday, but James Harden has been, I mean, just unbelievable. And the addition of LaMarcus Aldridge now, like that takes care of your first quarter scoring. Like that dude scores like 10 points every first quarter. and then he scores like 4 points the rest of the game. No, they have an embarrassment of riches. I will say, just came in the mail this weekend.
Goodness, another prop. Last week.
It just come in the mail this weekend. Got my Brooklyn Nets city gear. Jean-Michael Basquiat. That's what their city edition was based off of this year, was Jean-Michael Basquiat. I think the Grizzlies and the Brooklyn Nets have the best city edition stuff this season, no doubt about it. No, I like Brooklyn. I do. I mean, Harden has been way more enjoyable to watch with them than he ever was with Houston. Kyrie Irving, to me, he is top 5 player, most fun player, one of the top 5 most fun players in the entire league to watch. His handles are he's got the best handles I've ever seen. And then, KD is KD, and then you just add the other pieces they have to it. It's ridiculous. They should be the odds-on favorites to win the NBA championship.
I think, and I'm with you. I mean, obviously, it's like you think
as long as they're healthy, as long as KD is healthy and he's KD.
Yeah, but I do think when you add all these guys to the mix, I'm all for guys playing where they want to play, choosing where you want to go. It does seem unfair when you have such a great, talented group where we've never seen it like this. This is a super power team times 100. We have never seen it like this before. But I will say with a group like this is a win. Like you have to win the championship. This is
like you're talking about over the next 3 seasons, you're trying to win at least 2 championships. Like you got at least 2, yeah.
This is not one where it's like, oh, we got out. No, the expectations are you better win. You have to win at this point.
And here's the scary thing too, and I know we're not gonna have that much time for our third topic. The scary thing too is they still have Spencer Dinwiddie they can get rid of. And they can add something else to that team, it's crazy to think about what else they could add.
It definitely is. And I want to leave the last minute to you because in the NFL side of things, on the NFL news, we did learn about a 17-game schedule going up to 17 games. But for the 49ers, the draft is next month. You guys moved up to number 3 in the draft. What you got? What was your take?
Okay, so first of all, I was like, wow, we gave up a lot. But then I think about it. You see the 17-game schedule, the new national TV contract that's going to be – the new TV contract that's going to be coming. So not having those first-round picks going forward is not going to be that big of a deal because the cap is going to go up so much that you're going to have tons of money to be able to spend on free agents. So it's not really going to matter that picks. Now is who they're going to take. It's going to be a quarterback. I don't think it's Justin Fields. Mac Jones and Justin Fields are having their pro days on the same day. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are going to be at Mac Jones's pro day, and they're going to have their assistant GM and scouts at Justin Fields's. Now it could be Trey Lance. I don't know anything about Trey Lance. I've never really seen him play, so I can't speak on that. If the Jets don't trade Darnold and they go Penei Sewell and they go tackle, then it's going to be Zach Wilson. My guess, it's Trey Lance or Mac Jones, and I don't know. I've leaned Lance, but I'm going to start to lean Mac Jones.
And that's all the time we have for this edition of 3 Point Stance presented by Mountain Dew.